on Local 3.
Okay, when you talk about medicine, what you realize pretty quickly in the health of your body is that everything is kind of intertwined. So this is Dr. Jes Dwyer with Acu Chatt, and she came in this morning talking primarily to the women out there, but about how as we get older, it's a lot more than just brittle bones to worry about or heart health to worry about. Our hormones are really critical, and you can play a role in maintaining that balance, I guess. Is that right?
Absolutely. So we can help the body kind of self-regulate, so it can increase or decrease the amount of production, so it's what we need to actually live more comfortably. One of the signs that we end up looking at a lot is low libido. So that can come from aging, it can come from stress, it can come from medications, but when you start to see that lower libido, there is an imbalance in your hormones that we want to correct so you don't see other signs of issues like anxiety, poor sleep, really just kind of all of the different menopause symptoms. There's a lot of things that can be on the way down if you don't get your hormones in control quickly. So
what I'm hearing you say is that, let's say you're a woman watching today and you're experiencing just kind of a change in your marriage or whatever. You might think that that's isolated in and of its own self, but the truth is that could be an indicator of even additional problems that you don't know are lurking.
Right, and in Chinese medicine, we always look for the little sign and try to address it quickly so that it doesn't progress to the bigger issues. So things like arthritis or heart issues or any of the things that we associate with like perimenopause or postmenopause, we can kind of head them off at the pass if we catch the small sign, and libido is one of the first ones we see.
So I might be a little bit alone in this, but when COVID was going on and you would hear the sad stories of people having really difficult experiences with getting COVID, and so often you would hear of them having, quote, underlying health conditions that they didn't know about. So that kind of began this question, from my perspective anyway, of why we don't always know more about what's happening before the problem arises. Is Chinese medicine a good way to learn that?
It really is. Again, we're looking at those small symptoms early on. Like viruses like COVID attack your weak point. So whatever your weakness was, you're going to really see it when you get that type of virus. But those little symptoms were probably there before. Things like bloating, we often just chalk that up to bad food, but actually it's a sign your digestion's not working that great. Poor sleep can be a really big thing, and it's more than just anxiety or stress. It could be anemia, it could be other things going on underneath, and if we can catch it early, we can stop it from becoming something serious.
So if somebody's watching you today, and let's make it different than the person you were targeting.
Okay.
Let's say it's a 26-year-old in the midst of a job switch, and they just think, you know, I want to be as healthy as I can be.
Yeah.
If they came to you and just talked, and maybe they even said, I don't think I have anything wrong with me, would you be able to do some type of an assessment to say, actually, I noticed this?
Yeah, absolutely. So traditionally when we go to school, we learn what's called the 20 questions, where we do like a full systems check and see where your imbalances are. Especially in America, we downplay a lot of those symptoms that are as normal. So like periods, for example, you shouldn't feel anything. You shouldn't have cramps. You shouldn't have mood swings. You shouldn't have breast tenderness. Those are all signs of imbalances. Like I was saying with digestion, you shouldn't have bloating. You shouldn't have constipation or diarrhea. Those are chalked up as normal parts of life, but actually they're signs of something not functioning fully.
So do you ever kind of keep that to yourself and you just kind of go through your assessment and don't reveal what you're finding, and then at the end tell people and they're shocked because it's almost like a psychic, you're seeing things that they never told you to expect?
Absolutely, yeah. I like to hear all the information before I give a diagnosis, because again, it all plays together. The body's one system, so you might have 3 symptoms that can go any way by themselves, but together they give me a really clear picture of what's going on.
Okay, so now back to the women we were talking about earlier, who maybe are sitting on the edge of their chair going, okay, wait just a minute. Is it a case-by-case situation on how long it takes to see some benefit?
To some degree, yes. There's a couple studies out there that show improvement at specific time frames. So most people will see an improvement within 8 weeks. Another study said 3 months, and they see significant improvement. It'll depend on the person and what else is going on, but I think that's a good starting point to see if we can get some improvement.
So is it only women?
No, we can help men as well.
Okay. Once they come to you and that part of their life is kind of balancing out again, do they also find like more satisfaction too? Like, does depression ease up?
Absolutely, yeah. You see a lot less depression, you see better sleep, you see more satisfaction in the bedroom, general health usually is a lot better, less dryness, all the things that kind of are irritants in our daily life but aren't that big by themselves, those kind of ease down.
When you get those hormones balanced, does that also help with metabolism?
It really does, yep.
So kind of the bulge that you get as we get older?
Exactly, it makes it much easier to get off and keep off.
Okay. You mentioned to me that you're booking out kind of far.
We are, yeah. We've been really doing well helping people, and the word is out. So our next appointment's the end of March, I believe. But that changes on the daily, and if we can get people in earlier, we try to sneak them in.
It sometimes can be hard to reach them by phone because they are so busy. You can try, but her website's fantastic. So if you want to go on the website, not only can you make your appointment that way, you can read her bio. I always think it's really interesting when I go on your website because you are pretty unique with the time you spent actually in China training. I mean, that's a really high accolade that you have.
Thank you. Yeah, I was really fortunate. The hospital I was in was the equivalent of Johns Hopkins in China. So like it's a big deal to go to 301 hospital and be able to train there.
How long were you there?
I was there about 6 weeks, I think. So it was a shorter internship, but
and then you came home and applied it here.
I did, yes.
Okay, well here is where you will find her. It's Acu Chatt. They're down on the south side of Chattanooga. Their phone number, if you want to try it, is 708-5651. Online, it's acuchat.com. She promises she'll help you feel better.
If it's time to update your home, make Wholesale Supply your first stop. From practical solutions to stylish upgrades, we've got what you need to transform your space. Visit wholesalesupply.us to